We still do 7 NUFC Matters show a week for free. But if you want to help support NUFC Matters, then there are a few ways of doing it. Hit the like button on each live broadcast and video. This helps the channel grow. Hit the subscribe button and select the all notifications bell so you don't miss a single show. If you want to help us financially, then you can join the channel using this button with the membership starting at $1.99 a month. Or you can drop us a donation in the chat using a super sticker. We're also looking for sponsors. If you'd like your brand advertised on the flyers for the show and featured during the ad break, then email John at nufcmatters.com to arrange today.
Talking to myself again, but it's the only way you're ever gonna learn. You look back and it's all in the past. I'm dwelling on the thoughts I cannot say to you.
Good evening, welcome to NUFC Matters with me, Steve Wraith. That is the fans forum, and delighted to welcome George, Darren, Ian, Chippers, Kevin, Barry and Alan to the show, and welcome you for watching. And let's start with the game of the weekend, George, first and foremost, and a wonderful 1-0 win for Newcastle United. Anthony Gordon getting the winner, and Newcastle United, once again proving the doubters wrong with the ever-increasing injury list and getting 3 points in a wonderful performance.
Well, it's the first time I've watched a 1-0 where I wanted to say that the other side got a shellacking, because they did. I mean, they got an absolute pasting. So I'm very lucky to go home with just 1-0. But apart from that, there's all the good stuff about the team. I mean, we're so fortunate with the young crop that we've got at the moment. Livramento, I wondered why Newcastle United waited nearly 18 months for a lad that had got an injury that normally puts people out of the game. They waited for him, they waited till he got fit, and then they signed him. And I thought, he must be good. God, he's better than good. He's bloody smashing, And I thought, well, they obviously done the homework on him, no doubt about it. So, he just was outstanding, but so are some of the others as well. If I've got to pick a man of the match, I might shock you, but Fabian Schär for me. He is the coolest customer at the moment in the Premiership. How on earth, how and his team have done to bring that to the front in him. I think it was always there because he's always been scoring amazing goals. But it's better than that now, and he sprays the ball around like he was a high-class midfielder, not a centre-back. So, and then add to the others, Bruno, Joe, were all on form. There was no way Manchester United's midfield were going to boss that game at all. It was taken off from the beginning, and then the class act up front. Well, it was two. They couldn't handle Isaac's pace, but then they couldn't handle Gordon either. Gordon is just like a nasty bloody hornet, isn't he? He didn't always in your face, knocking away, and you can't get rid of him. He goes and you think he's gone, and he's back, and he's got his feet up your ankles and making you feel uncomfortable. Absolutely great. How on earth Southgate couldn't put that lad in his squad, last England squad, I don't know. I mean, after the week before when Chelsea had two players on that were in, England internationals, and you think to yourself, really? And Gordon's not even in the squad. So, so much good about it. And once again, our manager speaks so eloquently at the end of the game. He doesn't take the mick or anything like that. He just says it as he sees it. We're in a fortunate place in Newcastle United at the moment, and I'm just delighted I'm around to see it happening because The football was good. The energy was good. And bear in mind, we've just had that match in Paris a few days before. And Alan often says, tired, I don't believe it. Well, I don't believe it now, Alan, because they weren't tired at all on Saturday. They were up for it. And Manchester United just didn't know what had hit them. Disappointments, very disappointed in Rashford, who I think is a great footballer, but what a petulant so-and-so he's become. You know, he spit his dummy out the pram at every opportunity he got. And when he went off, oh God, I thought he was going to hit the manager. He was so upset. Nah, I don't like that sort of thing. I can understand people being disappointed because they're being taken off, but that was more than that. It was real anger in there. So there's something wrong in that dressing room for Rashford to go like that, because he was never like that before. That's got to be something that's internal. What else? The other Bruno, who thinks he's the cock of the roost. Well, it was demonstrated to him on Saturday. He's not even in the roost, never mind cock of the roost. So we've got the one Bruno, and we've got the one United.
Love it, George. Love it. Yeah, well said. Darren, wonderful performance, wasn't it? And me and Dad as well got the atmosphere that he wanted, I guess, on Saturday, because there was no tweets about the atmosphere.
Yes, hi. I think it was like 8 o'clock on a Sunday night. The fans have been out having a few tinnies and out on the drinks as well, so it does help them. And we're up for it. We got here through the week. The players are angry because they got robbed on the Tuesday. So, I wouldn't say a revenge, but they wanted to put something wrong. You know what I mean? They were hurt. They were hungry. And Man U, how bad are Man United? They're absolutely dreadful. They just need team spirit, need nothing there. I thought kind of the last, say, 8 minutes, the boys were tired. They were. I know Alan don't agree with tiredness, but they were tired. The same squad will start on Tuesday night, play the full 98 minutes. In the last 8-10 minutes, the second half, they were tired, you could tell. But they still worked hard as a unit. They cracked hard. My man of the match was, I'm torn between Bruno and Miley. I think Miley's 7-year-old. Yeah. What a game he had. Like I say, the fans were up for it. The fans were really happy. Like, I forget Man U fans were there, to be fair, because you never heard them all game. So good results, and we'll go on to Thursday now, which will be a hard game.
Yeah. Even got some praise from Klopp for playing the last 3 games with the same team, which is quite amazing. Ian, your views on the match?
Amazed. My voice is still a bit knackered from that game. I haven't got it back because I was up in level 7, and I'm telling you now, people slate level 7. It's a long way up. It is a long way up to get there. But I tell you what I don't know what that is in the background. What a brilliant atmosphere it was up there. You know, like the kids around us as well, because we're in the family section with Tommy. The kids were all going mental. The parents were going mental. Everything was feeding off the singing corner, strawberry corner, Gallagher coming round. It was the atmosphere. Tommy said to us at the end of the game, that was the best atmosphere that he's seen this season. And he's missed a few games, but I've got to agree, apart from maybe Villa, first game of the season where he didn't get to go, but I was in the Gallagher, that was an amazing atmosphere. The game itself, there was so many man of the matches on that pitch. You know, for me, I would give it Bruno because he just controlled that midfield. You know, and I tell you what, that kid, he really wanted to score a goal. He is dying to put that ball in the net, and you know what I mean. But he's a team player. Miley. So me, I'm jumping around here, but me and Tommy came home after the game, went to bed, got up in the morning and watched the game again, or most of the game again. And Miley was even better on the replay, watching it again for what he did. Like he's got the football brain of a 28-year-old world-class player. You know, he might not do everything 100% right, but he like the way he moves around the pitch is like effortless. It's going to be hard for somebody to come back in. Like, obviously, we all know what Longy gives to the team. You know, Sean works and he does that dirty work. But I think, like, every time Longstaff's been out of the team, we've missed him. Since Miley's come in, we haven't missed him that as much, you know. And that's credit to the lad's brain. He does everything. He gets back. He's box to box. He is excellent. But all of them, to a man, I'm not going to go through the whole team because obviously other people need to speak. But I was so proud of him. We should have been 3 or 4-0 up in the first half, 20 odd shots, you know, and they literally. I feel sorry for Man United fans, and I've never said that before, but they are not a team. They're not cohesive. They're not playing. You know, the cheat.
They wouldn't feel sorry for us, though.
The cheat that Rashford had, kicking off when he comes off the pitch, he should have been off at half time. He didn't track back once.
Yeah.
He did nothing. He put no effort in. He wants the ball on his toe and he wants to score a goal. Well, I'm not being funny. You're not going to get that against us. You know, like, and their captain, I would have, there's 11 players on that pitch for us who would have as a captain of a football team before that useless person. You know, he was actually okay for them, but they are how it's just last thing I'm going to say, how the mighty have fallen.
Mm-hmm. Good point, Chippers.
It was almost like a training game for it. It was just attack v defense. It was just pretty. It was just one of. It was. It's like Eddie Howe. Remember when Eddie Howe joked about bringing Bruno and Callum Wilson on the Old Trafford, saying he used it as a training game for them. It's what it was like. It was just Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw and Onana versus our team. That's what it was like to me. It's just a shame that we didn't give it what we deserved. It should have been 3, 4, 5 because then, I mean, I think it's hilarious. They're all mourning now because they've got Liverpool away in 2 weeks with them losing 7-0 there last season. They all think it's going to happen again. And I think it's fantastic because this is karma for all the years they had over us, all the times that they had a go at. I mean, they're still singing the Shiva song, which is pretty sad, to be honest, because we don't say anything about them. But yeah, you know, 3 clean sheets in a row against them. You know, we've had 3 dominating performances against them. And to me, that cup final defeat's been the turning point for a lot of them because we've come back and we're the ones that look hungry and they just seem to be, they're not interested. They don't care. They're getting their 300-400 grand a week and then that's what they're doing. I think Bruno was man of the match because it was billed as Bruno v Bruno and it was quite clear who the better one is. Just such a shame for Nick Pope because any other day he probably does that and he probably gets up fine. It's just the way things are going this season. It's a dislocated shoulder. But Livramento again, outstanding. Whether that's helping Marcus Rashford being lazy, who knows? But he had him on toast, and it's just a shame because Gareth Southgate will pick Rashford for the next England squad, not Gordon, where it should be the other way around. I mean, the fact that, like I said, their best players were their 2 centre-halves who have been vilified and criticised for so long shows how dominant we were. And it's a case of, as Darren said, Tuesday night, we had point to prove. We had to go out there and, you know, had the bit between the teeth. I mean, if that game was in Europe, we'd have had 2 pens, wouldn't we? So, but it's not. So, you know, it is what it is. It's 3 points. We move on. The confidence is high. Like I said, another clean sheet, which is massive. Pope didn't really have anything to do, did he? I mean, the only sad thing that happened to Pope was get injured. Didn't know what else, really. But, you know, I mean, that was a chance for Dubravka to come on and say, but he'll probably get the rest of the season now because I don't think he'll not rush him back at all. It'll be a case of now it's prove yourself for next season. You've got your chance. You've got your games. Let's get on with it. And like what he's doing with Lascelles, hopefully he proves him right, like what Lascelles is doing. But again, I would have loved that Trippier free kick to go in where it hit the bar. I was just begging that to just a centimetre earlier. But never mind. I said last week though as well. I've said before to other people that the Garnacho goal was a bit of a fluking because he had that much time and space. He didn't even get that on Saturday. That's why for me, better teams don't give players that time and space. It's as simple as that. And we're a better team than Man Utd is. It's as simple as that.
Okay, Spenny, some people are describing it as the best game of the season. What's your thoughts?
Well, I'll make a statement before I start. This is the best consistent team I've seen play in 40 years of going home and away to watch Newcastle. They're getting the results. They've got half a team out, half of the injuries, and they're winning games. They just beat Chelsea, drew with PSG, and beat Man United. 3 games with 11 players out. I thought the game was tight in the first half. We were lucky a few times. We didn't get a shot on goal because it deflected off defenders all the time. I think the only shot Man United did was when they hit the bitty spider cam. But like I said, Mane looks a good player, but like we said beginning of the season, with world-class players next to him like Bruno, Brazilian internationals, Julian, and all that, when you play with these players, you improve. And these players are improving mightily for the future. Izzy was a bit off form. I thought he was a bit tired, to be honest. He didn't do as many runs as I thought he usually does. But for me, I'm absolutely delighted because it's my second worst team, Man United, behind the Mackhams. So I was over the moon. I was frozen, but I was over the moon.
Alan, good evening, mate. Newcastle 1, Manchester United 0. Thoughts?
For all the lads have said, it's just been brilliant. Never been prouder. Like Spenny says, them 3 matches, never been prouder to be a Newcastle fan in my life. Never, ever. You couldn't pick a man of the match. Everybody's picking their favourites, and I'm going to pick mine, Livramento. I mean, that was just why he was man of the match for me, lads, is there was one part in the first half where Garnacho had about a couple of yards on him. He ran back, overtook him, took the ball off him. Absolutely immense. Faster than you see him both, that lad.
Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal pace on him. With the ball or without the ball, covering. But they all deserve 10 out of 10. I agree what Spenny said, the point being with Miley. Look at the young lad in the Man United team, the young 18-year-old. He'll get crucified in that team. That Mio, if I'm pronouncing it right, he'll get crucified with the players around him. And he's a talent, real talent on the Man U side. But anyway, enough of them. Fantastic, fantastic performance, lads. 10 out of 10. Couldn't be prouder. Absolutely. I felt sick for Darren being in Paris because, Darren, you are robbed of a famous victory. They've never been beaten in 19 years in the group stages, and that's why, because they've got the ref on their side. I felt physically sick for you and relatives that were out there because we're all robbed. It should be 3 wins.
I'm not going to lie, I did hurt. Like when you're in the ground, you have a look at Twitter afterward. We've seen the incident like when it's straight away on Twitter. We were like, oh, surely not. And well, I think everybody's covered. It's been covered all week, and like Eddie House said, we need to move on from it. And
definitely.
Which we did on Saturday. We didn't feel sorry for ourselves. We went and give another 10 out of 10 performance, and that's what we need to do every game.
And there's one person on this panel that's eating humble pie every game. It's me. So I bow down to
give over. Give over.
Keep saying we lose, we keep winning. Just say we lose all that.
Alan,
win all that.
Alan, you're a supporter like the rest of it. Don't take it to heart. You're better than that, man. You're like us. Just you have an opinion. We've got to have an opinion.
You've got your opinion, mate.
Yeah.
It's all opinions. It's all about opinions.
It's all about opinions.
Even though he's 50% Mackham now.
All do it for the same reason.
As my father would have said. As my father would have said, Alan, well, you can always press the off button.
It's more fun anyway, Alan, when you're being miserable. It's a better laugh anyhow. So I don't know who's took over your body tonight, but get the old Alan back. It's better laugh.
No, stick with it, Alan. It's good. It's good to have an opinion.
Well, it's all about opinions, lads.
I mean, to be honest with you, George, like I say about Tyne, it wasn't getting at them. It was just making it an excuse. Going forward, because we're going to have this every year.
Yeah,
we want to have Champions League next year, and I mean it's going to be like this. And you know, like the lads who are performing, the 11 lads are just playing out their skins, lads. It could go belly up the next few games, but
it even surprised Clippity Klopp.
Oh, definitely, George, definitely. But my man in match before, and sorry, lads, is Livermenko, but you could have picked any 11 of them.
Yeah,
any of them. Fantastic, lads, absolutely fantastic. I'm
Yeah.
bursting with pride.
Great stuff, Barry.
What can you say? I think the guys are pretty much covered. Just I feel sorry for me and Kev because it's sort of everything's been covered. At the end of the day, we are making the so-called top 6 teams look ordinary. We did it against Chelsea. We've done it against Man United, and we're, like the guys have said, we're playing with what, eight players. The woman from the kitchens, somebody who works outside the bins, and God knows what else playing for us at the minute because we've got so many bloody injuries. It's the team's just playing out with skin. The youngins are coming through and doing. We've for so long, Steve, talked about having no young kids coming through. Nobody in the academy who's worthwhile playing. You know, yes, we've invested in some young kids to boost up the lower down squads, but the guys who are coming through, the likes of Miley and stuff, have been there all the time, and they're looking absolute class. He just, like, I can't remember if it was Dallin or Ian said about we're not missing Longstaff. I think it was Ian. He isn't. Miley's playing exactly the same ability and you forget the fact that this kid's 17-year-old. He's only going to get better. He's just going to get better every game, and it just. You can't believe it, no matter how many injuries. I mean, I put it jokingly in the comments on Friday that I think somebody out there's got a voodoo doll with a little black and white shirt on and they're sticking pins in it when we're playing games and seeing who they can take out. But obviously then Pope went after that, and I was thinking, oh, God, they're sticking it into it. But it doesn't seem to matter. It just seems to, no matter who we lose, they're bringing somebody else through, whatever position it is, and they're just picking up the bat and they're just running with it. And I think that is, for me, Man United are exactly the opposite of us in team spirit, the way we work for the manager, the way we use the fans as an extra man, the way we play together as a team. And I'm so proud of them for that because it's been a long time coming. But Eddie Howe's got them thinking like that. He's got the team working as a unit. And I think we could take anybody at the minute, and it's getting to the stage where you think it doesn't matter who we've got playing. You know what I mean? It's just we'll still go for it, and we'll still give whoever it is a good game. Just so proud for them. I think it's a shame there wasn't a few more goals against Man United, but we still destroyed them basically at the end of the day, and it's going to live in the memories of the fans.
That made it even better for me. It was only 1-0. It was even better that it was only 1-0 because they still had a little chance of getting back into it, and they couldn't. And that's made it even sweeter for me.
Kevin?
I've just so enjoyed today asking people at work what they think of the cup draw, and the Sunderland fans have basically put their heads down. You just enjoy it.
We'll move on to that after Kev's had his opportunity to speak about the game of the weekend. What was your thoughts, Kev?
I mean, I've watched some good football in my time, but that was right from the start. The interplay from Isak into the midfield, into out wide, it's double movements. What in coaching world that we call it, it's double movements, in and out, in runs, outside to inside, vice versa. They couldn't deal with us. I've seen I'll have to share it with everybody, but there's a heat map of our organization of as a true 4-3-3, and Man United's was depicted based on our movements. If it wasn't for me and my son were like I had 2 TVs set up because of a college football game of an overlap. I was about to chuck that TV because of one said Harry Maguire. If he wasn't playing, granted he's not the best footballer in the world, just a big oaf. And if he didn't get in the way of it, it could have been more 4 or 5. If he didn't get a boot in the way, he didn't get his body in the way. Look, that's his job. But it was a nice. I mean, not nice, but it was a fabulous display. I agree with Alan in terms of Tino Livramento playing at left back. You wouldn't have thought he's not left footed. And I heard George on the Migos on Friday night. If you have to play professional football or any standard, you have to use both feet nowadays. You have to. And he can do that. Even he was crossing with his left foot. Yes, it might not get to his target. Yes, it might not do this, whatever. But at least he uses it and creates that opportunity. It was constant. The two fullbacks, Trippier and Livramento, were constantly overlapping, and I think that's why Rashford got pulled off. I would have held him off earlier, because I was telling my son I would have held him off earlier because he just didn't track him. And we were getting in down the side, left side and right side. Both Garnacho and Rashford weren't tracking. But again, the football that we played, the movement, that have the balls to play that football against Man United, even though it's Man United and they're still Man United. To do that against them and not show any fear. And I think that's the big word that we've had in the past against the big six, is playing with fear. If you play with fear, you're not going to have any result. It's going to become, you're going to succumb to that downfall of playing with fear. We didn't play with fear. We're not playing with fear against any of the big six anymore. So, again, it could have been 5 or 6 by half time, in my opinion. We ripped them apart. It didn't matter which way, left side, right side, through the middle. It didn't matter. It was all, and now look, from a negative perspective, the final third is where we have to really look at from January into the summer. Not that we can't score goals, we did. And, we've hit Sheffield for 8. We've scored 4 against Chelsea, blah, blah, blah. Beat Aston Villa 5-1. But now when you play like a Man United and then we've got Everton away next, and then you got Tottenham away, you need somebody else to come in and get goals. Not that it's a problem. We've got one of the best goal scoring records in the Premier League and defensive records in the Premier League. But at the same time, it's that 1-0. Yes, you can always, Jose Mourinho quote, you can always win a game 1-0. But to get that cushion, to really put the sword to them, you need somebody to put the ball in the back of the net. Isak's a world-class player, in my opinion. But he's literally on his last legs. He's coming back from an injury to get a full fitness. Wilson's out for however long. So we need somebody to fill in, essentially, who can score goals and who can push them to as a competition. I'm always for the competition of places. Doesn't matter who it is. If you're good enough, get him in the squad. I thought Lewis Miley was fabulous alongside Bruno with their interchanging play. Joe Linton just, not carried him, but they looked after him in the game. You're 17, you get looked after. We'll integrate you. We'll take you under our wing, and this is how it goes. Gordon was, constant down that left side, and I felt sorry for the Wan-Bissaka who got hauled off eventually, because I had to put Darlow out there, and he was a constant threat all the time, and he scored the winner, obviously. But going into the goal, it was coming, but that was, again, simple football. It was genuinely simple, but it was the most attractive football that I've seen across pretty much 90 minutes. And Eddie Howe even said it himself. This is the most pretty much complete performance that I've seen from goalkeeper. Unfortunately, Popey's out, but all the way through is complete football. And now we're reaping the benefits of his hard work and his coaching staff and what they're looking to achieve. And it's absolutely fabulous to watch. And most of us know pre-show for the week, the few days that I've had, that was just an absolute delight to watch, which elevated my mood and elevated my thing. So it was just nice to watch good football, So yeah, let's move on and let's slap Everton on Thursday night.
Great stuff. I think we all thoroughly enjoyed that game, and it was as comprehensive as the 5-0 win. There's no doubt about that without the goals, and there is something about it just being a 1-0 win, I think, that gives you that little bit extra satisfaction. But halfway through the show, and you know what that means, it's time for the ads. A big thanks to all our sponsors: Skips and Bins, telephone 0800 25 45 25 3, Email inquiries at skipsandbins.com. Website, skipsandbins.com. Easy contract, free and pay-as-you-go waste collection. Thanks again to Mr. Vicky's Sauces, handmade in Cumbria. If you'd like to order some, then give them a call on 01768 210 102. Go to the website, mrvickys.co.uk, or drop them an email, info@mrvickys.co.uk. A big thanks to United Group Travel. They're a family firm based in Morpeth with pickups throughout the Northeast. No strangers on our tours, just people you haven't met yet. They've got a presence on Facebook and a website, unitedgrouptravel.com. If you want to make a booking, give them a call on 01670 632 460 or mobiles 0791 666 4174 0795 71 41654. Thanks to Darren Baldwin Funerals, independent funeral directors. Let us look after you in your time of need. They're based on Old Durham Road in Gateshead, and you can contact them at their website, darrenbaldwinfunerals.co.uk. Email Darren at darrenbaldwinfunerals.co.uk, or give them a call, 0191 478 2730. A big thanks to Media Arts for all the help with the technical side of things. And a big thanks to New Workwear. You can find them at newworkwear.com. If you want to help the channel, hit the thumb up to subscribe, hit the subscribe button, and share to your other social media. You can also pay a one-off fee of £25 to get a scarf, a cup, a pen, and a membership card. Go to the website, nufcmatters.com, and click membership, or put your smartphone over this QR code. We also support the food bank on this channel. If you want to make some donations virtually, go to nufcfansfoodbank.co.uk and make a donation today. We're also a podcast on Spotify, iTunes, and other podcast providers. Just search NUFC Matters. I'm also a part of the Northeast Footy Brekkie Show. You can listen to that Monday to Friday, 7 till 9 at the tooneuk.com. We've also got an event coming up next year. It's in January the 19th at the Tyneside Irish Centre. It's an evening with Nobby Solano. Tickets are available on Voucher for £20. Don't forget, Supermac and Gibbo do every pre-match at Louis Liquor Store. It's free entry, children welcome, and there is great food by Fed's Fried Chicken. They're usually on pre-match and sometimes post-match at Louis Liquor Store. Okay, welcome back. Second half of the show, and that cup draw. What a cup draw that is, George. Sunderland versus Newcastle, FA Cup, third round. The banter has already started on social media, but how excited are you for that game?
Oh, thrilled to bits. I mean, the thing that disappoints me about the rivalry between the two teams at the moment, from my perspective, and remember how old I am, is how it's become very bitter and nasty. I go to the days when I used to go to the matches with my dad, and if we couldn't find a game anywhere else, we'd actually go to Joker Park to see them. and we used to walk through the tunnel and pick up the supporters bus in Jarrah, and that supporters bus had come from Ashton, full of Rokerites. I mean, they were red hot, even though they come from Ashton. And we used to get on, and we used to be banter. They used to pull our leg unmercifully, but it was all good fun. There was no nastiness, no threatening to fight or anything daft like that. Now, I got a Northumbria police today. We're just about in apoplexy trying to work out what the security will be, and it shouldn't be like that. It's never mind. That's my favourite. Absolutely fantastic. It's made a fascinating draw. Got everybody talking about us and everything else. what we've got to do is make sure we put it to bed, though, because well, to be in the wrong side of that game, we're not hearing about things in the past now, you know. But no, we've got to make sure that we do that, and I've got no hesitation in thinking that we will. But yeah, then also I get the memories of the other cup games we've had with them over the years. So some of them great because we did it, and some of them really disappointing because they did it. And yeah, just amazing. And you know, the playoff games we had were like cup final, cup ties as well. And some of them bring great memories. For a while, I did some help the South Shields Build Society, North of England Build Society, to do some promotional work. And they used to be sponsors of Sunderland. So I used to get lots of free tickets. So I used to take our Neil. The number of commotions he scored because caused in the Sunderland boardroom, like voting for the player of the match. And our Neil picked for somebody in the opposition team, and it got drawn out the hat.
Yeah.
Well, you should have seen their faces. And another one was we couldn't get tickets at Newcastle, but I could get tickets there. So we took the 2 tickets, well, 4 tickets, because I took a couple of his mates. But it was right in the middle of the clock stand. Couldn't have been more Roker area if you tried. And when it was the playoff where we equalised in the last few minutes, you know, the ground was silent, but in the middle of the clock stand, there was our Neil standing with his hand up like this. You know, I'd been holding him to the seat until then. No, great memories. And I think there'll be good memories. I hope there'll be good memories about this one as well. Couldn't be more excited if I tried, Steve, to be honest, you know.
Good stuff. Ian, huge game this. Always good to have a derby game. We've been praying for it for the last few years. What's your thoughts on that one?
Well, I'm already working on getting me tickets from my from a few of my pals who've got a few corporate tickets and that. So yeah, no, it'll be amazing. Whether you can get there or not, hopefully we'll get a decent amount of tickets. I just talk about 5,000 or something like that, which would be amazing, but maybe won't happen. Yeah, it's like I know some people hate derby days. I love them, but I've never been involved in smashing the big market up or any of that rubbish, you know. And I'm with George. I've got a lot of people who I would class as acquaintances, not friends, who are Mackhams, you know. Like, but no, I've got some good mates who are Mackhams, and they're good lads. It's not their fault that they support them, you know. And I think it'll be interesting. I hope that we put out a decent team and give some of our, you know, some of our top players the chance to play in a derby. You know, the likes of Bruno, you know, would, you know, it's a risk because they're probably going to kick lumps out of us. But I would like to see us put a decent team out and give them a good game of football. And by the way, they're no mugs. I know they've not been doing great recently, but they've got some good young players there.
15%.
And I think it's great for the North East that we're getting this derby back after however many years. Was it 7 years or something? It's a long time, isn't it?
I think it's 8, Ian.
Is it 8? Yeah. So we'll see. And yeah, no, Tom, I'm absolutely. The kid on Sky Sports, by the way, did you see his face? He was like, "Are you?" To his producer, "Are you kidding?" Like live, like, "Are you kidding?" No, I'm not kidding. He literally. I thought he'd need to go and change his pants.
Kev, local derby, it's the proper one. It's back down at the Stadium of Light as well. 15% worth of tickets is quite right. Could work out at about 6,000, 7,000, you know, potentially, depending on what the police have got to say about it as well. But it's got to be a hell of a game, that.
It's what we all want, you know, for the region, for the area. That's what we want. I mean, I call them the unwashed from down the road. I used to play for them as a kid. Unfortunately,
I knew I didn't like you. I knew I didn't like you.
Look, it is what it is. You know, you got to try and make a pro somehow. Unfortunately, because I was a lad from the other side of the river, it didn't pan out. But anyway, no, I think it, like I said, it's great for the area, great for the region. But I think we'll go there, and we spoke about this last week. You know, who do you want in the FA Cup? Who do you want as a draw? And everybody said we want it at home. Well, no, I think I agree, but then reflecting on it and seeing it when I woke up and I seen, we've got Sunderland. Is this true? Is it, is this a bunch of clickbait what I'm looking at? Then I realized that no, we've got Sunderland away. I'd rather play them at their place and really, put it up them. I think we'll play the better football. I think I haven't seen much of Sunderland. I've seen a couple of the games. They're not the best team in the world. I think we've got too much. Even if we play, we could put the team against Man United out against them. I think we'll probably still whack them all over the place. But yeah, it's a bittersweet because my last ever game before I moved out here was Sunderland away when we beat them 4-1, and I seen great Alan Shearer score his last ever goal for the club. So, and plus I played for them. Plus I'm a Newcastle United fan, obviously, and there's a nice romance about it. This is what the FA Cup's all about. It's the romance of this FA Cup, of playing your local rivals. Probably going to be a 12:30 kickoff, a 12:30 kickoff because of obviously the policing and all the rest of it. It probably won't be a late one, but I remember that day vividly. And it was one of the best experiences of my life. And I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait for the 6th of January. I genuinely can't wait. My wedding anniversary is the first of the year. Then I've got a week later. Then I'm going to have another anniversary when we're going to whack them lot down the road. So it's going to be quite a special and not an emotional occasion, but again, it's for the region, it's for the area, and it'll highlight how far we are ahead of them, based on all the crap they can say, all the banter. Yes, and I agree with George. I've got a lot of that's what it should be. It shouldn't be hatred, and there's things being posted. And we've all seen it from content providers, of inciting violence and things like that, and I'm not for that. It's yes, we don't like each other, that's obvious, but it's a game of football at the end of the day, and whoever comes out on top at the end of it comes out on top. We're all adults, most of us, not Ian, but anyway. But you know what I mean? It's a game of football. At the end of the day, there's a lot more things going on in everybody's lives.
Unfortunately,
that are bigger issues and bigger problems. Yes, it's against that lot, and I would like Middlesbrough in the Carabao Cup. That that's me. Yeah. You know what I mean? But we've got Chelsea. It is what it is. That's just how the draw's being made. So you play with what's in front of you. And I think, it'll be a very, very good game. I think it'll be like a Glasgow Celtic Rangers game. I think it'll be carnage. I think it'll be kicking snot out of each other. I think it'll be all of the above. And I'll be sitting there watching it as if I was there and living every emotion that from both sides will be feeling on that said day. And that's what the FA Cup's about, and that's what playing Sunderland's all about. And, bring them on. If they think they're better.
Barry, on to you, mate.
I live beside a private airport. I'm sorry. It is what it is. But yeah, let's bring them on and let's kick the crap out of them, to be honest, and go and slap them 5 or 6.
Come on,
Barry.
I think for me, it's like the guys have said. It's what football's all about. You're playing your local rivals, regardless of the results. Sometimes the results go like they did in the playoffs. They go completely against
what you expect them to be. It's going to be a huge measure for where we are now compared to the last time we came up against them. Like I said, I think a lot of the Sunderland fans are terrified with the potential names that could have playing against them. When you look at who we might potentially sign in January to try and bolster the squad a bit. My thing, Steve, was I was trying to work out through the squad how many of them actually played against the Mackems before, and I couldn't come up with many more than sort of 3 or 4 names out of our current squad. So it's going to be a new experience for the team all round. But I've got so much faith in Eddie Howe and what he does that he's going to have them all up for it. The local lads are going to be they'll know what playing against the Mackems is all about. And we've got a fair few of them coming through the team now. I just wish like hell that Dan Byrne was back in time for the Mackem game, because I think he would absolutely love to get a chance to play against the Mackems, because it's not going to happen any other time soon. So I feel a bit sorry for him, because obviously he's staunch black and white as well. But yeah, I think a great one for the fans. I do agree it'd be nice to hammer them away from home, because we've had a few results in the past. So it'd be nice to turn them over. But yeah, can't wait to see it.
Darren, I mean, it's a hell of a week that. Manchester City, Sunderland, Liverpool in the space of three games in the space of a week. That's a hell of a week. But the Sunderland game is always special, isn't it, Darren?
Yes, it's like you say, I kind of agree with George. Like, and Ian, like, we don't want any trouble, but we're old, and it's a younger generation. Unfortunately, what are going on social media say we're going to kill you, want to beat you up, and that's what they like. But unfortunately, we're grown men. We like the game of football. We judge on the game of football. Yes, I want to beat them. Yes, I want to hammer them. But I don't want to say anybody getting hurt. Do you know what I mean? But they smashing the big market. You know what I mean? The game of football, for Christ's sake, people's at work next day and all that. Just gotta enjoy the occasion, the moment. It'll be unbelievable day. I was on cloud 9 when I seen the draw. I get in. I just need tickets to get it now, so it'll be good. You know what I mean? I'm buzzing to play City and then Liverpool and Sunderland. For once, I'm looking forward to next year already. Bring it on.
Chippers, the Mackems in the cup.
Yeah, it's for me. I'm not into the violent side either, but it was like that football factory minute, you know, when Chelsea drew Millwall and you just see him go, get in. That's literally what I did. I thought, this is what we want. This is what we want. We want to go on their own pitch and we want to humiliate them. And that's what we're going to do. I'm confident because I was confident against Man Utd and we did the same. I felt confident against PSG and we were 2 minutes away from doing it. I was confident against Chelsea. We did it. These don't frighten us. The only thing that does is how they play, what their intentions will be, whether they'll just play to kick us up a height and try and beat us, obviously unfairly, because they can't beat us football in terms, but like if they go out at a set to injure our players, which they're quite capable of doing, they might have that mind frame of, Newcastle are better footballing team than them, but if we start kicking lumps out with them, then few injuries to their better players, it levels the playing field out a bit. So, but yeah, listen, I'm sick of them. They go on about their cheesy chips and panda pops and everything like that, and I just want to beat them. I mean, I'm sick of them going on about their 7 in a row and all this rubbish. It's and they say, because we could extend it, but we don't play as but because you are rubbish. Simple as that. We're playing in the best league in the world, so bring it on. I can't wait to beat them. I really can't. But the problem for me is I might be at work when the games are on the Saturday, so I might not even get to see it. I'm trying to get it swapped, but I mean, if nobody does, then I'm going to be sitting upstairs at work.
Maybe the Sunday, yeah, no, maybe the Sunday.
I'm off. Well, I might be working the Sunday as well, so I don't know yet. But we'll see near the time, I suppose. But I can't wait for it just to go there.
You've got Burrard in the cup game as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm thinking, like, I've heard today people are saying it might be an 8 o'clock on a Saturday. Well, that's just stupid if it is, because they're asking for people to get tanked up, aren't they? And just, it's going to cause trouble, that. So, but who knows? I want us to beat them so much. I'm sick of them going on about how good they are and stuff like that. And I'm thinking, no, you're on. Those are like poo on my shoe. We're going to go there, we're going to beat you, and we're going to shut you up, and you can crawl back under your rocks and that. cheer for Super Kevin Phillips and Niall Quinn or whatever for the rest of the season. But we can go there. We'll go toe-to-toe with and we'll obliterate you on your own pitch.
It's all about banter at the end of the day. As long as it remains banter, that's the main thing. And it's about the football. It's about the football. The build-up's great. I do like the derby game. So let's hope that people are sensible. And I've got to agree with Julie, who said in the chat that some people on social media need to remember to use their profiles wisely and not to stir the pot.
Yeah.
I'm not going to mention names, Julie, but I think I know who you're referring to, and I would agree with you wholeheartedly on that situation. Spenny, Sunderland, Newcastle, we've been to a few ourselves over the years. It's just something about this game, isn't it? It's exciting, and it gets, it gets the pulse going, doesn't it?
I think I noticed you give out ones before I started speaking, like Steve. I've disagreed with some of the panel saying it's just a football, just football. This is not football. This is part of your life. You live with it, near them. You work with them. You've got to beat these for the fans and the club. Simple as that. And they need to be beating them more than we did at Halloween. We're a different class today, Billy Sunderland, Billy team, it's ever been. Beat them. And I hope we beat them very, very well. 8 or 9 now for me. I hate the twats. Simple as that. And I hope they come out the stadium kicking skate goals around and punching them.
Yes, I just say it's all about opinions, and we don't always agree with opinions that these people on the platform said, and I certainly don't endorse hurting animals before anybody reports to the club. Alan, Sunderland, Newcastle.
Well, it's a great tie, lads. I've had some tremendous memories and some bad ones on your honeymoon. I've got a bottle of champagne. I've never owned it yet. When Kevin Phillips scored and the 1-2-1 and Cher was decked to the bench, I was on my honeymoon that week. It was the worst day of my life at that time. Being married. I'd only been married 3 days.
So you got married?
But I've had some great memories as well. Davidas, high in his top off. I was in the factory floor, running around the factory floor where the Mattons were with my top off. Sight for sore eyes, but it was bloody brilliant. So I've had some great memories, lads. First derby game I remember was 1973 when we beat them 2-0, I think, on Boxing Day. I think Alan Kennedy scored one of the goals. And after that, I can't remember one, George, because I never in our division until we got relegated ourselves. So when I was a young lad, I hardly ever saw McDonald agree, Steve. We never played, I don't think, in a derby game.
One of my most surreal derbies, Alan, sorry, Steve, if I'm cutting in, was the one in 56. They played Boxing Day and Christmas Day, and on the Boxing Day match, the centre forward was Alec Tate, who was my school teacher. So I went to watch my school teacher playing against the Mackhams, and he scored a hat-trick. You know, people never remember Alec for that, and he scored a hat-trick. When I went to school after the Christmas holidays, couldn't get close enough to him to shake his hand, you know. And sometimes later on, I played in the same team as him when I signed for the club, you know.
But no, George, you're right, George. Great memories.
Yeah.
Lads, I saw one of the comments in the chat saying the pressure's all on us. Pressure's what you make it. Quality will always shine through. They kick up the height, so be it. If we win 1-0, I'll be happy. As long as we kick them out the cup and we're in the next round.
And dressing up as a seagull if I get a ticket.
Yes, what a classic.
As long as we win, lads. As long as we win.
Let's finish off. Let's finish off quickly with a just a quick one around the panel, just about the potential of signing De Gea. Obviously, Nick Pope is going to be out probably until April, May. It's his season. It's a season ender. There's no doubt about it. I can't see him coming back at all this year, this season. He could be back for the last few games, you know, but is he going to be up to scratch? You know, and it depends what happens between now and then with all the. With Dubravka or Karius, but De Gea has been linked, George. He's a free agent at the moment. Would you take a gamble on De Gea? Do you think Newcastle should just keep what they've got and keep Dubravka?
I can understand from a manager's point of view why he wants 3 good goalkeepers. That I can figure out. But why bring in a third one who, in my opinion, is as good as the 2 we've got? I mean, if he was any good, he'd be sitting on his backside on Manchester United's bench still. And you're going to bring him in here at God knows how many hundreds of pounds a month, a week, or whatever, thousands of pounds a week.
That's why
and that'll
won't
damage yeah, I mean that's going to damage our statistics for Europe. You know, the FFP, whatever they call it. So no, I wouldn't. I can understand the need. The manager would like another goalkeeper, though. I would think in modern football having 3 good goalkeepers is sensible. But whether I certainly wouldn't have him. No, I'd be looking elsewhere.
And a little one for you, George, from Ray Burrow. He just said, have you ever seen so many young lads under 25 in the team at Newcastle who are real prospects for the future?
There was a brief period when we won the FA Youth Cup, when we had Jackie Bell. No, before that, before the one before that. Had Jackie Bell, Reg Evans on the left wing, Billy Thompson at centre back, and nearly all got into the team. And for a while, it looked like we were going to be like the Busby Babes, but for some reason, it started to fall apart, and they all got transferred. Kenny Hales, for example, was a midfield player, fantastic little player, but he had a fantastic professional career till he was in his 40s nearly. But with Bury, not with Newcastle United. But there was that period where they were all youngsters. But this crop we've got now is going to take some beating, because with Maley in the team, the average age, it drops like a stone. And none of the others are that old either. No, it's a good shout. It is a very young team. And I think that's great. Absolutely great.
Yeah, I mean, the class of 92 stands out for me, Ray. Your likes of Steve Howie, Lee Clark, Steve Watson, Robbie Elliott, Alan Nielsen. There were some great players, and they all went on. Alan Thompson went on to have careers, and do really well. So the class of 92 might have been at Manchester United, but we had our own. And, Ozzy Ardiles does have to take a little bit of credit for that.
Certainly does, yeah.
Which is what Ronald Wood says in the chat. De Gea, then, Ian, would you take him?
No, we've already got one Man United reject who's come back with his tails between his legs, haven't we? You know what I mean? Like, he's... I think Dubravka's a good keeper. This is a chance for him to make up to us for what I think was a mistake, stupid mistake. And he's took a lot of stick for it. But he was a good keeper for us, and he is a good keeper. And I wouldn't be wanting to pay De Gea 150, 200 grand to come in. I don't think he's any better than Dubs at the moment. So I would say no. There's a young kid as well that we signed. I can't remember if he's Scottish or Irish keeper. Into the Irish, yeah. Into the youth system, who's meant to be really highly rated. So, touch wood, nothing happens. But there is another backup there for me, so I would say no.
Kev?
I would take him. I think he's a better... Yes, we can call him rejects, we can call him that, we can this and that, but I think he's a better goalkeeper than Martin, Dubravka and Karius, to be perfectly honest. I think he got shafted by Man United. I don't think he put down tools. There was a contract negotiation and all the rest of it, which didn't go obviously his way. It's a player-driven game at the minute, plus agents and all the rest of it. So I would take him. Yes, wages are wages, but if you put him on a 6-month loan with no option to buy, not give him what he wants, but give him something where he can get back into the game and prove himself to where he can go in a different direction. Look, it might work out that he might be our number 2. You never know, because I don't think not that I haven't got any confidence in Dubravka or Karius, but they haven't had the experience, not experience, but game time. And I think David De Gea has had the Champions League experience. He's had the Premier League experience at a very high level. And he's good with his feet. I'll just chuck it out there. He's very good with his feet. He knows how to play the game. And I would take a punt on him, to be perfectly honest. Again, we've said all night, it's an opinion, right? So I would draft him in just because of his experience level in the games that we have, potentially further down the road, and what we need. Yes, good shot stopper, all the above. Again, it's just the confidence level what he had at Man United towards the end of his career there didn't fit Ten Hag. It didn't fit. He was just pushed out, shoved out. And yeah, so I would take it, and I will quite happily do an analysis on him in terms of what he brings to the table.
Okay, Barry?
It's a hard one, isn't it? I know what the guys are saying about his wages, but I mean, at the minute he's got no club at all. He's got nothing coming in, so it's not like we're trying to outbid somebody else. I totally agree with Kev. He's better than Dubravka. I think I would get rid of Gillespie and Karius at the end of the season anyway, because they're not the future of our club. So again, you look at, is he better than what we've got? Yes, he is. My concern would be, you would be wanting to speak to him and see what his attitude's like since he left Man U. I do agree he was shafted at Man United. I think their behaviour towards someone who played some absolutely cracking games for them was absolutely abysmal. And I do think he's got a huge point to prove. It's a really hard one, isn't it? I mean, people in the chat there are talking about Ramsdale. Is De Gea better than Ramsdale? Probably. He's probably on a par with him. I know the age is different, but I wouldn't be busting a gut to sign Aaron Ramsdale either. I don't think he's as good as Paul. No. I agree with Kev. I know it's not a popular decision because of where the guys come from, but if you look genuinely at how capable he is, the experience levels that he's got, would he add to our team? Yes, he would. But it might come back to bite us. You would have to seriously look at his attitude before you put anything on the table for him, I suppose.
Spenny?
I think I mentioned on the show a couple of months ago that we should be going for him. I think we should go for him. He's able number one. I think he's better than Pope and Dubravka for me. And you're on about his wages. He's getting no wages now, so he's got nothing to bargain with. So if the wages what we offer are on the table, he'll take them, won't we? It's up to us if we want them. And the two positions I think we should go for this season is goalkeeper, one of them, and centre forward. And the centre forward, I think we will sign. His nickname is named after me, Boniface.
Darren,
I wouldn't touch him with a barge ball. I wouldn't thank you for him. He's so overrated these days. He made so many errors last season for Man United. I don't think Man U shafted him. He wanted to be highly paid.
No.
Man U wanted to sign him.
Treated him very badly.
And he wanted to be on the same money, but Man U said no, we don't want to pay on the same money. So he was paying more about the money. Man U were going to sign him, but you want less contract. He didn't want to do that. So I wouldn't touch him. I let him rot. Gone somewhere else, mate. So I've got full faith in Dubravka after the rest of the season. The Karius, I'm happy with them too. So, no, definitely no for me.
Chippers?
I'm down the middle with it. I'll say because he's got a very good CV. He's very highly thought of, and we've seen how many times he bailed Man U out on numerous occasions. I know he made mistakes as well, but every keeper that makes mistakes usually concedes a goal. Pope's been fantastic, but he's made mistakes. So you can see that, but then I look and think of what's his motivations now. How match fit is he footballing wise? Because I've seen keepers sometimes take a while to get up to some level of fitness. He hasn't played for about 6 months, I think. So how is it going to take him to get fit? what as Barry said, what headspace is he in? You know, is he wanting to go somewhere for the money? Is he wanting to go somewhere to prove a point? Is he wanting to go somewhere just to finish his career? What was he going somewhere for a paycheck? We don't know. That's the way you roll the dice. So I'm down the middle with it, really. If we sign him, I'll support him. But if we don't sign him, then for me, it's not the end of the world, because we'll get somebody in a different position, which we require, like possibly a right winger or somewhere else, or a striker.
Okay, Alan, last but by no means least, your view on De Gea?
I'm exactly the same as Chip. I was down the middle. I accept all the points the lads have made, Kevin and Barry and Spunny, about buying him. I would buy him just simply to piss Man United fans off, if anything. Honestly, when you heard this morning, George, about them going to us on the podcast, they were absolutely mortified. So in one sense, for that reason alone, I would like to buy him. But seriously, lads, I just don't think he'll come for the wages. I just don't think we'll pay the wage structure. I think...
Thing is, Alan, as well, sorry to interrupt me, mate.
Yeah.
The Euros is coming up in it. You'd be wanting to try and get in the Spanish team.
Do you not think he's had that offer already?
I think there's 3 or 4 keepers in front of him, though, Spenny. I think there's 3 or 4 keepers in front of him. I think he was 4th choice the last time I heard, you know. That's the only thing I would say about that. But I agree, it's a point. But I agree with all the lads here. I'm in the middle. If we sign him, I'll be happy for that reason alone, what I just said. If we don't, Ramsdale's got age on his side. But I agree again with Barry. I don't think he's any better than, you know, what Pope is. So do you go for the future, or do you go for a short term and get a new keeper like Spenny says? We need one going forward anyway, because Pope's 31 and he'll only be at the top. And will Pope win you the Premier League title? Because that's what we're after, lads.
Yeah, I think Popular Images says, to be honest, Pope rarely has anything to do in a game. The defence covers him. We must have the least shots on goal against stats in the league. I'm fine with Dubravka. I think most people are. I think De Gea would command too much of a wage, and I think short term, I think we'll be fine. I think long term, we do need another keeper to come in, because Nick Pope's 31. That's 2 shoulder dislocations he's had in his career now, so we don't know the extreme state of this one at the moment, but we wish him well. We hope he gets well soon, and let's hope he can get back to the form that he was in before he got injured. Tim, good evening. He says, what's the lives for the rest of the week? Okay, tomorrow, pre-recorded show with Ben Jacobs at 6 o'clock. Wednesday night, those were the days with George going out, and Thursday afternoon, 2 o'clock with Supermac and Gibbo. And Friday will be a pre-recorded Amigos, and then Saturday and Sunday will be those with the days, because I've got a bit of work on this week, and I will not be able to do the lives. And then after that, the run into Christmas, we're back to normal lives every week, every weeknight. So I'm looking forward to that. But for now, thanks to George, thanks to Ian, to Kevin, to Barry, to Alan, to Chippers, to Darren, and to Spenny. Take care, everybody. Thanks,
Good
everybody.
to see you, lads. Good to see you, lads.
Good night, lads.
Good